In competitive first-person shooter games like Call of Duty, female players often encounter more than just enemies on the screen. They face a minefield of gendered assumptions, power plays, and rhetorical challenges the moment they speak. I call this the gender reveal moment. The instant a woman's voice is heard in voice chat, the game's atmosphere often shifts. Legitimacy is tested, sometimes aggressively, sometimes with awkward curiosity, and sometimes with genuine welcome. This video analyzes how these moments unfold in digital spaces through the lens of Aaron Frost's apparent feminism and Kenneth Burke's concept of identification. Using video clips from TikTok creator and professional streamer Sasuke, I'll examine how legitimacy and exclusion are rhetorically negotiated in real time, and how misogyny is exposed, resisted, and sometimes subverted. FPS games like Call of Duty and Valorant have long been male-dominated, both in player base and design. Since 2024, about 2/3 of shooter players are men, according to Statista, and over 80% of US game designers are male. These games are created for men by men, and center domination, threat elimination, and aggression, traits often aligned with traditional ideas of masculinity. However, more women are breaking into competitive gaming now than ever. According to Rhetoric, gendered ideas about who games are for are often skewed. Perceptions of video gaming represent cultural biases more than they reflect who is actually participating, she notes. Despite continually shifting demographics, female players still face misogyny and rhetorical exclusion. While major gaming companies, such as Roblox, have had success strategically moderating text chats for toxicity, according to Holmes and Colton, sexist comments like, "Go make me a sandwich," remain common in the voice chats of competitive games. These aren't just jokes, they're rhetorical tools used to question legitimacy. So when we look at gender reveal moments, we're also looking at a system that still polices who gets to belong. Why this artifact? I chose Sasuke's videos because they document real-time gameplay alongside voice chat interactions, giving us a rare look at how gender politics play out in high-pressure, high-skill moments. She's not just playing, she's performing, navigating a space where her voice alone can trigger harassment, and where she uses rhetoric, gameplay, and composure to respond and create content for her audience. As a note, this particular video I'm analyzing is a compilation of negative, toxic male players, so it is skewed, but it provides good grounds for this analysis. The first of the theories I'll be applying is Aaron Frost's concept of apparent feminism. In her 2015 article, she writes, "Apparent feminism marks moments when feminist work becomes visible, often because of pushback." These gender reveal moments are exactly that. They make the underlying sexism of gaming culture visible, or apparent, and create openings for rhetorical resistance. Frost's theory helps us see that feminism doesn't just show up in protests or academic essays, it happens in these moments, in-game, when women respond, resist, or simply play on. The second theory I'll be applying today is Burke's theory of rhetorical identification. Burke argues that persuasion happens when people see themselves as sharing substance with others. In A Rhetoric of Motives, he writes, "You persuade a man only insofar as you can talk his language, by speech, gesture, tonality, order, image, attitude, idea, identifying your ways with his." In gender reveal moments, identification often fails. Some male players reject the idea that a female teammate can be one of them. Others suspend judgment, thinking, "Let's see if she can play." A few embrace her, defending, complimenting, even joking. Burke's theory helps explain how rhetorical legitimacy is constructed or denied based on whether the speaker is seen as consubstantial or not. In the next sections, I'll walk through 3 common responses to the gender reveal moment: open misogyny, dismissive silence, and objectifying praise. For each, we'll explore what's said, how Sasuke responds, and what rhetorical strategies are in play. Let's begin with the most familiar and most disturbing, open misogyny. In one of the most common and telling reactions to a female voice in FPS chat, players respond with outright misogyny. These moments reveal what Aaron Frost calls the pushback that makes feminist resistance visible. In this clip, Sasuke simply joins the voice channel with, "Hey guys, how we doing?" And the response is immediate.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Shut up. How big your tummy? What's the waist size? What are you? You're an 8? You're a 10? What are you?
Nope, smaller. What are you though?
Not an 8 or a 10, you fat.
Good shooting me. All that talk, but you don't know how to shoot your gun. That's unfortunate.
Go back to the kitchen, you stupid woman.
Is that all you got? Say something creative, I dare
Make
you.
me a sandwich.
Anything else?
Shut the fuck up.
Is that all you know?
These aren't just casual insults. They're attempts at re-establishing boundaries by recasting the space as male-dominated and her presence as an invasion. Feminist scholars like Kishona Gray in 2015 have described this behavior as space invader rhetoric, language that reasserts control over a digital environment by policing who belongs. Frost's apparent feminism helps us see how Sasuke's very presence makes this gendered tension visible. And yet, visibility is not the same as vulnerability. Sasuke doesn't retreat. She counters this rhetoric not with apology or defensiveness, but with sarcasm and skill. Here, her use of humor, say something creative, functions as a rhetorical reversal. She doesn't accept their framing of the situation. She exposes how unoriginal and pathetic those insults are. Meanwhile, her assertion of gameplay stats, "I have more kills than all of you," is a classic rhetorical strategy rooted in ethos and performance. She reframes her presence from intruder to top-performing teammate. Kenneth Burke's theory of identification helps us see why this rhetoric fails in this particular instance. The male players are unable or unwilling to see Sasuke as one of them. Her gender overrides skill in their minds, so they reject her as not consubstantial, not a part of the shared group. And yet, her rhetorical response reasserts that identity. She's competent, communicative, and unshaken. Her performance invites the audience, us, and maybe even some teammates, to shift identification toward her. Not all responses are openly hostile, though. Some are conditional, upset, or angrily silent teammates who aren't openly misogynistic, but aren't exactly welcoming either. Let's look at how rhetorical legitimacy is negotiated in these instances. Section 2, Dismissive Silence. In some moments, male players don't resort to outright misogyny, but they still treat Sasuke's presence as suspect. Her legitimacy is not assumed, it must be earned. These interactions reflect what I call dismissive silence, the tone of "let's see if she can play." In one moment, after she issues a clear tactical call-out, no one responds. The only voice heard is the game system. "You're the last one. Complete the mission."
One's gonna be flanking us, I think, and one's gonna be right on A.
You're the last one. Complete the mission.
No, bro. I knew he was fake diffusing. Oh my god, bro. More kills than all of you.
Her teammates
Who's
have
gonna make me
already
the
died
sandwich?
and go quiet as they leave her to carry them. The only answer is continued silence until she sarcastically flips their insults. "Who's going to make me the sandwich?" Then, silence again. Not identification, just acknowledgement through withdrawal. Frost reminds us that feminist rhetoric becomes apparent in the pushback and the burden of persistence. Sasuke plays on. Her presence is not validated, but she claims space anyway. In this way, apparent feminism isn't about just responding to harassment, it's about the rhetorical labor of existing in a space that demands constant self-justification. This certainly is not a moment of shared identity, it's rhetorical rejection through silence. Looking at this from the perspective of Burke's identification theory, we can see that even performance doesn't guarantee belonging when Sasuke's presence is filtered first through deterministic screens, or perspectives that reduce her identity through assumptions, weakness, novelty, flirtation, etc. Any mistake could confirm their bias. Any silence could be read as incompetence. This is the rhetorical equivalent of walking a tightrope, and Sasuke manages it not just with skill, but with restraint, asserting her legitimacy through consistent gameplay and rhetorical boldness. Of course, not every player reacts the same. Some, after noticing her skill, react with backhanded compliments and even lecherous attempts at flirtation. Let's look at what rhetorical legitimacy looks like once identification succeeds, and how even then the dynamics remain complex. In some clips, male players respond with support, or at least something that sounds supportive. But support can come in many flavors: hypersexual flirtation, exaggerated praise, or intense idolization.
Oh, Can I have your Snapchat, please?
No, you can't.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm watching your stream right now, and I'm extremely bricked up.
That's good.
They sexualize, center male desire, and once again shift attention away from Sasuke's legitimate gameplay and toward gender performance. According to Aaron Frost, apparent feminism doesn't only surface in moments of hostility. It shows up when gender expectations become visible. Those men aren't rejecting her, but they're also not seeing her as a person and a teammate. Their praise is tangled with possessiveness. They don't want to exclude her, they want to consume her presence. This behavior reinforces a culture of token or mascot girl gamers on majority male teams, and tropes like the e-girl persona, so common across platforms. What's powerful here is that Sasuke doesn't flinch. She keeps her cool. Sometimes she mocks back, "No, you can't have my Snapchat." Other times she ignores the comment entirely and continues to communicate tactically. She resists becoming a spectacle without breaking the rhetorical thread of the game. This is what Burke would call consubstantiality, identification, or even over-identification. These men might have begun to feel like they're on the same team, and Sasuke is an asset, or at least something to be desired rather than opposed. But even here, the identification is gendered. She's accepted, but only as a spectacle, a novelty, a gamer girl, not necessarily as a peer. Applying Burke's theory helps us to see that even after identification, rhetorical belonging is always situated and often conditional. Across these examples, misogyny, silence, and objectification, one thing stays constant. Sasuke must actively construct rhetorical legitimacy every time she speaks. Let's step back and ask what these moments show us, not just about gaming, but about how rhetorical legitimacy is earned, denied, and defended in digital spaces. It's worth noting that toxicity in online gaming doesn't arise in a vacuum. The game's design, level of competitiveness, moderation tools, and the type of players it attracts all shape how voice chat is used. In a title like Call of Duty, where Sasuke streams, trash talk has become so normalized that players routinely use humiliating and sexualized insults often directed at each other regardless of gender. The misogyny we hear may be reflexive more than personally targeted, revealing just how embedded these rhetorical habits have become. This reinforces the importance of examining not just individual player interactions, but the broader systems and cultures surrounding them. Gaming communities are diverse, shaped as much by platform design and policy as by the players themselves. Despite the continued presence of misogyny and general rhetorical toxicity in competitive gaming, it is encouraging that everyday moments like these present opportunities to push back with rhetoric, as Sasuke demonstrated. I hope this analysis was helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching.